Hey guys, welcome to today's live zoo to-do. I'm Bridget, I'm one of the keepers here at Stone Zoo. We're coming to you live from our narwhal exhibit. April Fools! This is where our two porcupines, North American porcupines, Fezzik and Tarth live. I have Tarth here right now. She is our 2-year-old female porcupine. She just celebrated her birthday on March 29th, so just a couple of days ago. I'm feeding her some of her diet. Here at the zoo they get fed some different produce, some sweet potato, apples, greens. They also get fed these biscuits. There's a leaf eater biscuit and a rodent chow, so this helps with their nutrition. Sorry, this is my first one. Sorry, I might feel a little rusty.
Do they have a favorite food item they like to eat?
Sweet potato is their favorite food. If you guys have any questions during the chat, feel free to drop them in the comments. We'll try to answer them either live on air or we'll get back to you at some point afterwards. All right, so as I said, she's 2 years old. We have our male in his lower section of his double-decker house. His name's Fezzik. He's 4 years old. He's not really interested in hanging out with us today, but that's okay. He gets to do whatever he wants. So, as you can see, she's using her large teeth to eat this sweet potato. Their teeth grow continually with them through their whole lives, and you might notice the color is a little bit red or orange, and that's actually due to iron oxide in the enamel of their teeth, and that helps them be really strong. So here at the zoo, like I said, they eat a couple different diet items like produce, biscuits, greens. In the wild, they eat seeds, berries, tree material, roots, grass, stuff like that. Their diet actually changes seasonally, so in the winter time they'll eat evergreen leaves. Wow. Evergreen leaves in the inside bark of trees. So that's good that they can adapt themselves to things as they go.
Where might we find North American porcupines?
So North American porcupines are found in the forests almost all over North America. So they're actually not in the southeast of the United States, but pretty much everywhere else you'll find these guys, maybe in your backyard, but pretty much everywhere. Some scrublands of Canada as well, so all over the place. They have very few predators because they're sharp quills, so some predators are coyotes, cougars, fishers, actually great horned owls, which I found pretty interesting. That's pretty cool. I'm gonna step back so Katie can get a real close-up view of Tarth eating her favorite snack.
And are they solitary or do they live in groups?
So during the summer, they like to hang out by themselves, but they're known to den together in the winter time. Here at the zoo, Tarth and Fezzik are actually part of an SSP, which is a species survival plan, and that is just a group from within AZA that gives us recommendations on how to house and breed our animals. These guys are recommended to breed. We saw some breeding behaviors last fall, but we never actually saw breeding. So she could be coming into a birthing window, but we're not sure since she's still pretty young for a reproductive female.
We do have a couple of questions.
Sure.
So Abby asks, how long can they live for?
So porcupines can live to about 15 years in their native habitat, but here in the zoo they can live up to 20 years with veterinary care.
And Anne wants to know if they hibernate.
These guys do not hibernate. They are active all winter long, but if you come here and you are looking for hours, they don't tend to love the extreme cold temperatures. Fezzik can be found like he is right now in one part of his double-decker house. And we give them really big, lush beds of straw so that they have somewhere comfortable to go in like the freezing cold temperatures and the rain or the snow. so they hang out in their more comforting spots.
We have a really good question here about their quills. Chase actually wants to know, how do they shoot their quills?
So I'm sure many of you, like Chase, are thinking that I should be practicing some social distancing from Tarth, but that's actually a myth. They cannot shoot their quills. Instead, they shed their quills on impact. So I still want to be really careful around Tarth. All these fine hairs above, all these fine hairs above her are hair like ours, but quills are a modified hair, and they're all underneath her on her back, and especially her tail. Her tail is really barbed, and when they're cornered by predators, they'll start thrashing that tail about. But you can get behind her if you want, if you feel where was I? Talking about her quills. So if I touched her, their quills would go into me and they would get away from her. And they have microscopic barbs on the end of them that make them very difficult and painful to get out. So that's why I want to give her space and not get too close to her.
We have another question about the quills from Dom, who wants to know if they start off soft at first.
They do. So they're, like I said, modified hair. So when they come out of mom, they're kind of like a small adult porcupine. They're very precocial, which means that they get going right away. They're basically a small version of an adult. And they're very hair-like, and then over time they'll get harder and grow in like that.
Kay wants to know, do they make any sort of vocalization noises?
They do. So they make a lot of low grunts, and sometimes they make a high-pitched squealing noise. That helps them communicate with each other. They also communicate by dancing in some courtship behaviors, and also through scent. Scent is a really good way for porcupines to communicate as well.
Nika would like to know, do they have sharp teeth?
Sharp, kind of, for what they need. So you see her eating this food. It's not sharp like a cat's that like comes to a point, but maybe we can there we go. So they are kind of dull, but they're good for eating things like tree materials, harder produce items, stuff like that. And they grow with them for their whole lives, so they'll wear them down on wood branches. And also, if you're in the woods and you don't really notice that many deer antlers, that's because woodland creatures like these guys will eat them and chew on them for their calcium and minerals that help them thrive.
Let's see.
And do they have fur and quills?
Yeah, it's like this. This is hair, and then underneath is where it's, so also in their vulnerable spot is their belly and their face. They have a lot of hair there that isn't modified into quills, so predators can go for that area, but the backside is where all the dangerous, very sharp quills live.
And how much do Tarth and Fezzik weigh?
So Tarth is a little girl. She weighs about 11 pounds. Fezzik, if you could see him if he wanted to come hang out with us, he is about 24 pounds. They can get up to about 40 pounds, so Tarth and Fezzik still have a lot to grow into.
Nathaniel wants to know if they like being around people.
So Tarth and Fezzik actually do like to be around people. That's why she's hanging out with me. Fezzik's a little bit more finicky about whether he wants to hang out with people or not, but Tarth is very personable. She likes to come down. She specifically likes to come down for treats and snacks, but she doesn't mind us being in here.
I think we have time for one or two more questions maybe. Ava wants to know if they can jump.
They're not good jumpers, but if Katie wants to come in and look at these claws, they're actually very good climbers. So you can see her hanging out on the perch She also has lots of other types of perches around her exhibit, and she climbs all over them. And then sometimes you'll even see Tarth or Fezzik climbing around the mesh of their exhibit. They're very good climbers. Not so much on the jumping though.
And are they endangered?
These guys are not endangered. They're actually a pretty common species. You can find them all throughout North America. And they are actually considered pest species in certain other areas.
Well, I think we're about all out of time for questions.
Thanks everyone for joining me for our Zoo to You. I've had a really good time here with you guys in Tarth. You guys can check out our website in the Kids Corner for even more activities. And you guys can check us out on our page tomorrow at 1:30 for a new Zoo to You. If you guys, we really appreciate all of the support that you guys have given to us through this whole thing. If you're interested in donating, you can go on our website. And that's about it for us. Stay safe, everyone. Thanks for joining.